It'd be nice to go outside once in a while, explore some wild nature, make use of your weekend, and get fitter on the way. That's why we went hiking and camping for a full weekend. A full-blown vacation without a single PTO day. But make no mistake, there wasn't any spa treatment involved here. Except for a shower maybe. Hello! It's the Easter weekend and we decided to do a little camping and hiking trip. We just arrived at the Wutach Gorge, which is a beautiful nature reserve in the south of Germany. And we will do a about 20-kilometer hike today. Then we will go camping, and tomorrow we will do another 20-kilometer hike. Our hike through the Wutach Gorge started rough. One of the first things we had to do was climb over the aftermath of a landslide. And it didn't get easier. Narrow, rocky trails, loose stones, tangled roots, slippery mud, and sometimes all at once. The Wutach River is one of Germany's last untouched rivers. No dams, no concrete channels, just pure, untamed waters carving its way through the Black Forest. With its steep cliffs, deep canyons, and roaring waters, people sometimes call it the Grand Canyon of the Black Forest. It's not quite Arizona, but it's still enough to wreck your legs if you're not careful. Sometimes the gorge walls become so tall and massive it felt like walking through a forgotten world. Mossy cliffs, ghostly waterfalls, and a strange, eerie silence. Well, at least until we hit the next human traffic jam. We even had to queue just to climb over some rocks. After a few kilometers of stop-and-go hiking, we found a tiny pebble beach right by the river. Time for a break. Pistachio croissants that reminded us of our last camping trip through Italy. Sadly no cappuccino in sight, but still a very welcome treat. The trail kept throwing waterfalls, cliffs, and narrow bridges at us. But eventually, we climbed out of the gorge and into a typical agricultural landscape of southern Germany. We are at about 11 kilometers and we just left the Wutach Gorge, which means we are now on our way back to the motorcycles and we'll then drive to the camp. But before we can do that, we have to walk the last 9 kilometers. And as the trek in the Wutach Gorge itself was a little bit harder to walk than what we usually do, I'm quite interested in how I feel after the 20 kilometers. For now it's fine, but let's see how I feel this evening. Suddenly, no crowds, just endless fields, trees, the crunch of leaves underfoot, and the sun beating down harder than expected. Turns out 2 bottles of water for 23 kilometers wasn't the smartest plan. It seems water intake is higher when it's not freezing outside. We are at 20 kilometers and there are about 2 kilometers left to the motorcycles. It's exhausting and we don't have a lot of water left. And yeah, I just want to get to the goal and then be finished with that. Still, step by step, we made it back. 23.6 kilometers and 636 meters of altitude gain. Slightly dehydrated, but still very much alive. Then we drove to the campsite and built up our tent. We realized how hungry we were and decided to go look for a supermarket. The next one was only 20 kilometers away. And here is our gourmet dinner. Feast your eyes on our luxurious camp cuisine. Yes, it's completely dark. Just imagine 2 sad people eating sausages in the dark. Day 2 started with blue skies and sunshine. The ground was still soaked with morning dew and our gear was wet and cold. But we knew rain was coming in the afternoon, so no time to waste. But there's always time for coffee and a pretzel, right? Good morning. It's the second day of our 2-day hiking trip. Today we are going to hike to the Burgbach-waterfall, and apparently the hike starts with quite a steep beginning. For the first 2 or 3 kilometers, everything went smoothly, and we hiked through the beautiful black forest with a lot of unripe blueberries. We need to come back in fall. But then we took a wrong turn. We suddenly found ourselves walking on a road. But here's the twist. That wrong turn led us straight to a hidden highlight. The Bierbrunnen. Completely unexpected and completely brilliant. From there, we found a new trail. That trail led up to the Schutzhütte. Not far, but technically challenging. Loose rocks, roots, and a pretty steep climb. It was a quite dramatic landscape there, and the trek definitely kept us focused. One of those climbs where you watch every step and feel it in your legs. Once we reached the hut though, the view made up for everything. Located on a ridge with a wide open view over the valley, easily one of the best spots of the trip. We walked 8.5 kilometers until now. Just came up all this way, and then we realized to get to the waterfall we have to go down again, and then on our way back to the campsite we'll have to go up again. More altitude meters, yay! Funny thing, the night before we heard another couple at the reception say they got lost on their way to the waterfall. We wondered how that is possible in the time of Google Maps. Well, now we know. The descent was easy though, and the forest suddenly opened up to reveal the Burgbach-waterfall, one of the tallest free-falling waterfalls in the Black Forest. A wild, mossy canyon, falling water echoing through the trees, definitely worth a detour. But then things started to change. It got colder, the wind picked up, and the clouds rolled in quickly. Now we are on our way back to the motorcycles. As you can see, maybe, I don't know if it's visible on video, it's a little bit cloudy and it's also gotten colder. So we will walk a little bit faster and then we will reach the camp in about 7 kilometers. I was really glad I had my new wind and rain jacket. We tried to get back to the motorcycles as fast as possible to beat the approaching rain. Because nothing is worse than riding in wet motorcycle gear. Trust me, I've been there. It's a whole new level of discomfort. We hiked for about 16 kilometers today, almost back at the camp. And it's going to start to rain in about 30 minutes. Hopefully the drive home will not be too wet, but I doubt that. But nonetheless, we had a beautiful hike today and we got lucky. With the starting rain, we reached the motorcycles and the end of this video. So thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!